It is time. The first vehicle to ever get our brand new Alpha One Signature Edition speakers installed. Join us on our journey as we transform this G01 from a great sound system to the last sound system you'll ever need. Welcome back. I'm Dylan, and I'm pleased to share with you this very exciting moment: the installation of our brand new Alpha One Signature Edition speakers in our BMW G01. These speakers take everything you know and love about Alpha One and drastically surpass it in every aspect possible: quality, durability, and of course, audio. We have a full reveal video on what makes these Signature Edition speakers so great, but let's take a quick moment to go over some of the basics. The Alpha One Signature Edition speakers are made from state-of-the-art materials built to offer top technological solutions. Carbon fiber cones on the mid-range speakers and woofers increase rigidity, while the textile domes on the tweeters allow for smooth highs. The building methods behind these speakers, such as the ventilated coils and the Faraday's rings in the mid-ranges, allow for better performance, less distortion, and a more accurate reproduction of audio. Of course, all the nitty-gritty details can be found in our reveal video. Like Alpha One has always been, the Signature Edition speakers are direct plug-and-play replacements of the factory speakers with no cutting, splicing, or custom mounting solutions needed. Of course, to get the best sound possible, these speakers need to be paired with our line of Alpha One amps. For that reason, the Signature Edition speakers are only available for current and future Alpha One amp owners. BMW won't allow you to get an M3 with a Ford Fiesta engine, and we can't have our Signature Edition speakers be powered by weak amps either. All of this can be done with their DIY Essentials Kit and trim tool kits, but of course, if you don't want to do this installation yourself, you can find one of our certified installers near you. We have them in about 30 countries around the world. And if you're in the Orlando, Florida area, well then stop on by and we could do it for you. But with all that out of the way, let the transformation begin. Jarrett, take it away. Before dealing with anything electronic, you need to make sure you disconnect your battery. Start by popping your rear hatch and lifting up the floor panel. With the trim tool, rotate the two locking fasteners and lift the cover up. With a 10mm socket, remove the negative battery terminal and set it aside. You might also want to tie a towel around the latch to prevent the hatch from closing and locking you out. The first thing we're going to do are the center channel speakers. Due to limited space, we need to modify the gorgeous crossovers. While the crossovers are very elegant, the process of removing the housing really isn't. Regardless, each one is designed to be used without the housing in the event you're limited on space, such as in this location. Behind these cutouts on either side are tabs that you will need to bend back to release the top half. Jared found it easier to bend back both at once since it's a very tight fit. Once you get it going, start bending back the other side and the cover will pop off. For the bottom half, carefully insert a pick tool between the circuit board and the sidewall of the housing. Work the pick tool under the board and pry up. Just be careful not to insert the pick tool too deep under the board. You can attempt to push from the bottom through the holes of the housing, but you risk punching through the circuit board, so we don't recommend that. Once you get it free, it's time to protect it. Slide over the piece of included heat shrink and use a heat gun to secure it. Make sure you don't put the heat gun too close and keep it moving to avoid damaging the crossover. Now we're ready to start the installation. Back at the G01, use a trim tool to remove the grill. With a T20 bit, remove the 4 screws holding the speaker bracket in place. As you can see, this G01 has the very good Alpha One speakers, but now it's time for the phenomenal Signature Editions. Lift up and remove the bracket, and disconnect the lead going to the speakers. Back at the bench, remove the 3 T20 screws holding the mid to the bracket. Remove the speaker and disconnect it. Remove the crossover as well, and pop the tweeter out and remove it. Snap the new Signature Edition S10 tweeter in like so. And then drop the S40 mid in place. Replace the 3 T20 screws. Coil up the slack on the tweeter cable and secure it with a cable tie. Back in the G01, plug the crossover in the S40 mid speaker, and plug the S10 tweeter into the connector on the same side of that crossover. To complete the connection, plug the lead from the BMW of the center channel into the single connector side of the crossover. Slide the crossover into the recess found in the middle of the center channel cutout. Drop the bracket in place and reinstall the 4 T20 screws. Finally, replace the grille. Let's move on to the front passenger door, which will represent the driver's side door as well. Start by removing the tweeter housing by inserting a trim tool between the housing and the weather stripping like so. Pull it up and away. Remove it when it's free and disconnect the tweeter. Next, to remove the panel, insert a trim tool between the seam on the upper section of the pull handle. Once started, work down to separate it completely. If any of the metal tabs stay behind on the trim you removed, remove them, find them on the floor somewhere, and snap them back into place on the door panel. The orientation they should be placed back in will follow the molded plastic lines in the panel. Remove the lower and upper T20 screws. Remove the 2 T20 screws at the base of the panel. To pop the panel off, insert a trim tool between the panel and the door and pop it free. Once it starts to pop off, you can use your hands for the rest. For the top, lift up and then away. Pop the tweeter cable free. From the back, lift the door handle cable off. Finally, pop this retainer off just to give you enough slack to rest the base of the panel on a covered surface. You just need access to the mid speaker, so you don't need to take the whole panel off. With the mid exposed, remove the connectors, and then remove the 3 T20 screws. Remove the speaker. Put the Signature Edition A45 mid in place, and replace the 3 T20 screws. Next is to install the crossover. Let's take a quick look at what you get with each one. A heavy-duty, thicker adhesive foam for uneven surfaces, a flatter one for smooth surfaces, and the heat shrink you've seen in action. For this panel, we'll use the thicker foam. While here, you might as well peel off the cover film or wait until it's installed. After that, peel off one side of the sticky foam and stick it to the back of the crossover. When you're ready, peel the back off the other side. Make sure you've done a test fit since this double-sided foam tape is very sticky. When you're ready, you'll stick it flat right here under the S45 mid-speaker behind the insulation. While it really doesn't matter, Jarrett opted to have the A logo on the front point to the right, having the side with the 2 leads at the top. Jarrett used a cable tie to keep the cables loomed together up top. To determine which factory connector goes where, compare the factory lead for the tweeter to the other 2 leads. These wires match, so this connector is for the tweeter. With that in mind, take the non-tweeter lead and plug that into the amp in on the Signature crossover. Plug the factory tweeter connector into TW out. Finally, take the remaining connector from the crossover, mid out, and plug that into the S45 mid. Use a cable tie to bundle and clean everything up. Before we put the panel back on, let's tackle the tweeter. Start by removing the foam piece. To remove the old one, carefully use a pick tool to bend back the plastic tabs while you apply upward tension on the leads. Take the Signature S10 and snap it into place. Replace the foam. Now it's time to reassemble this door. Slide the handle cable back in place and test the handle to make sure it works. Snap back in the retainer. The tricky part is lining up the door pin. Do your best to get the pin in line with the hole for it, and make sure the tweeter connector is out of the way, snapped to the panel. Slide the panel in place from the top. It might take a few tries to make sure the pin lines up. Once in place, snap the panel back down. Reinstall the 2 T20 screws at the bottom. Reinstall the 2 T20 screws on the pull handle. Replace the pull handle trim by sliding the bottom tab in first and then snapping it back down. For the tweeter, tidy up the excess cabling with a cable tie. Plug the tweeter in and snap the housing back in place like so. Repeat this on the driver's side. Let's move to the rear door. Remove the pull handle trim just as you did up front. Remove the two T20 screws. Remove the one T20 screw from the bottom. Pry the panel off the same way you did up front. This panel you do have to remove, so disconnect the handle cable. Pop off the retaining clip and pull the connector out. Disconnect the tweeter cable. Finally, remove the last few retainers and disconnect the light. With the panel out of the way, unplug the mid and remove the three T20 screws holding it down. Replace it with the Signature Edition S45 mid. Grab one of the crossovers and prep it the same way you did up front. Pull back the insulation on the panel and stick it into place here. Bundle the cables together with a cable tie or two to keep everything together. Plug the factory lead into amp in of the crossover. Plug mid out into the S45 mid. Now you can tidy everything up with a cable tie. Make sure the TW out is accessible for the tweeter. Back at the panel, pull back the insulation to expose the tweeter. Pull the cable free, and then remove the tweeter carefully the same way you did up front. Snap in the S10 tweeter. And coil up the slack here, securing it with cable ties. Put the insulation back in place. Bring the panel back over and begin reconnecting it the opposite way you took it apart. Don't forget to test the handle when you reconnect the handle cable. Of course, plug the tweeter into the new crossover. Snap the panel back in the same way you did up front. Keep in mind that our door panel is missing, so this was easier for us. It's a long story and better not to ask. Don't forget the one screw at the bottom and the two in the pull strap. Replace the pull strap trim from the bottom side first like you did up front. Repeat this on the driver's side. Now for the underseat woofers. For this, you'll have to unbolt the front seats, so temporarily reconnect your battery so you could slide the seats. We suggest doing both sides at the same time so you don't have to keep disconnecting and reconnecting your battery. Start by sliding them all the way back and remove the two T50 bolts up front. Slide the seat all the way forward and unbolt the two rear T50 bolts. You can now tilt your seat back to expose the woofer grill. Do not unplug the seat. Disconnect your battery one more time before moving forward. With the seat leaned back and grill exposed, remove the four T20 screws holding it down. Remove the grill and unplug the woofer. Remove the four screws holding it down. You might have to pull back the carpet for easier access. Once all that is done, pull the woofer out. Drop in the new Signature Edition S90 and reinstall the four screws holding it down. plug the woofer in, and put the carpet back in place. Put the grill back in place and reinstall the screws. Once complete, drop the seat back in place and begin reinstalling the rear T50 bolts. Don't tighten them down all the way until you get the front lined up. When you're ready for the front, we can reconnect the battery for the final time. Start by reconnecting the negative battery terminal. After that, rotate the two locking fasteners to secure the panel. Drop the floor panel back down, remove the towel, and you're powered up. Back at the seat, slide the seat back to reinstall the front bolts. Line up the seat and fully reinstall the front bolts. Slide the seat forward and tighten the rear bolts down completely. As soon as the other side is finished up, the installation is complete. And that is how you install the brand new Alpha One Signature Edition speakers in a BMW G01. Want one of these for your G01 or any compatible BMW or Mini? Head on over to our site and into your VIN to find the right kit for your ride. Have any more questions about these speakers? You can reach out to our sales team via chat on our site or by calling. Already have the speakers and have any questions about the install or anything else? You can reach out to our support team with your order number and they will be eager to assist. But as always, for more tips and tricks, product reviews, and so much more for BMWs, Minis, Supers, and Teslas, make sure you subscribe and don't forget to ring that bell. Want to know what's happening first? Head on over to our site and sign up for our newsletter. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok as well. Thanks for watching.